I think the big question, Stig, beyond any individual investigation, which need to get done as soon as possible, is who else is funding Nigel Farage? Who else has got Nigel Farage in their pocket? Farage has made a big deal about taking back control throughout his career, yet he will not be straight with the British people about who controls him.
Kay and I both read every word of the Sunday Times Insight Team investigation into Nigel Farage's relationship with convicted fraudster George Cottrell. It's a hell of a tale, actually, just as a pure story. It's a hell of a story. If you didn't get a chance yesterday, I'd urge you to search it out this morning. If you subscribe to the Times and the Sunday Times, you can read it in full. The piece laid out how Cottrell let Farage use his house near Buckingham Palace. He also supplied security and social media support to Farage in the year before he was elected. The Sunday Times describes Cottrell as Farage's closest advisor for more than a decade. So close, Cottrell calls Farage daddy. Cottrell is a convicted felon in the United States, by the way. Reform UK say no rules have been broken whatsoever and that the support was given in a purely personal capacity. Worth noting that, because purely personal capacity is a direct defence against the line that they've not declared this support properly. Purely personal. But the Times today has now picked up the story and found Cottrell gave out business cards in his name with Reform UK and Farage's personal email address printed on them. So is he doing that in a purely personal capacity, is the question. Josh Babarinde is the Lib Dem's president and he's referred Nigel Farage to the Parliamentary Standards Commissioner. Josh, morning to you.
Good morning, Stig.
What questions need to be answered now, do you feel?
There are so many questions, and I mean, congratulations to the Sunday Times for a very thorough investigation. But ultimately, it shouldn't have had to come to that. It should be the case that if you're taking big money like that in politics, that it is declared. All of us MPs were told about the rules around donations. Nigel Farage and I were elected at the same time. We were literally stood in queues next to each other to go into inductions where we were told in no uncertain terms, you declare things, gifts, donations, all that kind of stuff that you've received in the 12 months before you've become an MP. And, you know, he claims that these gifts that he received were personal and that it was from a personal friend. Well, if any personal friend of mine started giving away business cards with their name on it and my email address on it and my party's logo on it, I'd think that was pretty weird and not something I would sanction in my personal life at all. And I think the big question, Stig, beyond any individual investigation, which need to get done as soon as possible, is who else is funding Nigel Farage? Who else has got Nigel Farage in their pocket? Farage has made a big deal about taking back control throughout his career, yet he will not be straight with the British people about who controls him.
I should say that Reform say that Cottrell is an unpaid volunteer with no formal role at Reform UK, and the business card was designed to help donors or other members of the public easily get in touch with Nigel Farage's office. It was not intended to suggest any formal position or authority.
Sure.
That's a direct quote from Reform. The argument to you, Josh, will be this. Reform is a threat to the old parties, the Lib Dems, the Tories, Labour. Those parties know they can't defeat Reform legitimately, so they're trying to take them down another way. That's the challenge that's going to be made to the Sunday Times, it's going to be made to you, it's going to be made to the Tories. You can't beat Reform, and therefore you're frightened of them.
I mean, that's just a load of rubbish. I mean, take my own patch of Eastbourne, sunniest town in the UK officially, and we had elections in May. We thrashed Reform, and we've been beating them all across the country, and so have other parties too. I mean, look at the Makerfield by-election just a couple of weeks ago. What Reform are doing, and what Nigel Farage is doing, is he knows that he's stepped out of line. He knows that he's been playing hard and fast with the rules, and we'll get an official ruling soon, I hope. And now he is thrashing about, blaming everybody but himself for his conduct. That is classic behaviour from a populist like Farage. It's exactly what Trump does, and is exactly how Farage would behave if he got a whiff of power in the aftermath of a general election. This is a warning shot. It's a warning shot about how he behaves, about his murky dealings, and about how he's not really a man of the people at all. He comes across to some as someone who you might want to go to the pub with, have a laugh with. In reality, Nigel Farage is laughing all the way to the bank, and he's laughing at all of us because he's been able to get away with it until now.
What's the end game for you in this? Would you like to see Farage suspended? So the Standards Commissioner investigates. If he finds against him, there is a world in which Farage could get suspended from Parliament. If he's suspended for long enough, there could be a recall petition. Then the people of Clacton would have a chance to vote again on whether to have him as an MP. Is that the end game you're seeking here?
But this is bigger than any individual politician. I mean, Nigel Farage needs to, face the wrath of the rules and the Parliamentary Standards Commissioner, sure. But this is about trust in politics. This is about trying to make sure that we can hold to account those who are taking money from all different places. We need to know whose pocket he's in. Ultimately, I think the end game is we need to protect and restore trust in British politics. Nigel Farage is actively eating away at that. Which hits all politicians and all politics at all levels. So ultimately, we need to restore that. I also think that we seriously need to look at including a cap on donations in British politics. Lib Dems have put forward legislative proposals, amendments to the Representation of the People bill to push forward a cap on donations in politics. I think that is where we need to end up to restore faith in our system.
Interesting stuff. Josh, thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
That's Josh Babarinde there, the Lib Dems president. I'm very sceptical, Kate. I just don't... Why would anyone donate to a political party? I just don't understand it. Because there's got to be a quid pro quo. No one is donating to a political party because they just like it.
Oh, yeah, you donate because you want the party to succeed.
And then do something for you.
Well, I mean,
it
yes,
must be,
I think some
that,
people probably donate because they feel very strongly that they want that party to be in government because that party shares their ideals, or ultimately, yes, they would be better off. There will be other people, though, who very, very directly donate specifically because they hope that party will change the rules in their favour. I don't think that's true of everyone, though.
No, and here's an interesting point from Martin, actually. The media are making a massive mistake with this story. Everyone can see the mainstream media engaged in a stitch-up. The US media did the same thing to Trump. Look what happened. I think, again, go back and read the story. The story is the story. Now, it may well be that Nigel Farage says, I've got this mate. Yes, he went to prison. Yes, he's helped me out. I don't think I've broken any rules. The Standard Commissioner could either agree with him or slap him on the wrist, and the world goes on. But the question is, this man could be, in 3 years' time, the most powerful man in Britain. Do you think this looks and feels right?
I think there's a bigger question here for Nigel Farage and the Reform UK team, and I suspect it's what worries them a bit more, which is that there are lots of Reform supporters who listen to us talk about that story or read it in the paper and say, you know what, it doesn't matter to me, I'll still vote for him anyway. And there are people who are saying, well, look, this is what the American media tries to do to Trump and it backfired on them. The problem for Reform UK is they haven't actually won an election yet, a general election. Yeah. And to do that, they need a spread of voters across the country who are not just the people who are supporting Reform UK. They need to draw votes from Labour, from the Tories, from other parties in order to win. And to do that, they really can't do anything that's going to put those people off. And I think the issue for Reform UK is they've got to find a strategy that works where they can appeal to enough people to get them elected but still maintain their credibility as the sort of outsiders. They'll do something different. And I think stories like this give those people pause for thought, and that's what's worrying really for Reform.
And it's a question for all of us. Do we want to have a Trump's America where this sort of where basically big business, big money sloshing around in plain sight, whether the rules are broken or not? Or do we believe in this country, we want something slightly better than that?